Hi, my name is Jerry Thomas. I used to be an alcoholic. I've been delivered from alcoholism. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life. I was raised in the post-World War II era in a family that was sort of dysfunctional, but I didn't realize it then. My aunt used to stop and pick us up and take us to Sunday school. We'd come home from that, and I thought I lived in a typical Christian family. Christian in the fact that the kids went to church and Sunday school, and the parents stayed home. Dad worked on the car, and Mom cooked a big dinner. That was Christian to me and the family. I always looked up to my uncles and my father. They were my heroes growing up. All of them were in World War II, and they'd come over the house and they'd tell their stories, and they'd pop the beers, and all of them would have a shot, and they'd tell their war stories at the table, and I'd be right there with them, listening to them, thinking, boy, that's exactly how I want to grow up. I did sports when I was in high school. I did a youth group when I was in high school. I accepted Christ when I was 12 years old with the altar, but never allowed him to control my life. I always controlled everything. So when I got out of high school, I graduated on June 1st, and June 6th, I entered college. And the difference of going to college, the freedoms that I received when I went to college was totally different from when I was growing up. Nobody told me what time to get up. Nobody told me what time I had to eat. Nobody told me anything. I had a lot of freedom. So I'd go to classes most of the time. If I didn't go, I was fortunate enough I still could pass them, the test. I got a part-time job working at college so that I could go out and buy my alcohol. And we'd party on weekends. That was just the start of it. When I went to college, I went on a scholarship. And because of my drinking, I was in an accident on an old ski slope, and I tore my shoulder out pretty bad. And I had to drop out of college, lost scholarship, because I had to have shoulder surgery. When I got done with that, I worked around the house after surgery, and then I went back to college, and it was more of a party time than it was anything else. During that time, I met my wife of 41 years. We're still married and happy. And I met her at a bar and a dance. And that was our life, was partying. We had 3 children. When they were young, I told my wife that by the time I was 32, I was going to own my own business. And since I'd worked in a restaurant prior to that had 10 bars in it, I enjoyed that type of business. I wanted to do the restaurant business, so that's what we settled on. When I worked at the convention center, one of my jobs was to go around and do the inventory on all 10 bars. So I'd start in the morning, and I'd start drinking in the morning. When I left there and went into construction, I would start the day off with a bottle of beer or a shot of Jack Daniels, and I got to the point that I could not function in the morning without 2 shots of Jack Daniels. So my day was, literally I was intoxicated all day long. I got to the point that I could not go back to church and take my children with me, because I felt that I was too dirty and God did not want me there. I ended up having toxic poisoning from alcohol, and I tried to quit drinking at that time, and I could not quit drinking. I'd pray to God every night that He'd deliver me from alcohol, and I knew the next morning I'd wake up and have 2 shots of Jack Daniels. I got to one point that I decided I needed to read the Bible, and I opened up to Romans 5:1, which says, "Therefore, having been justified by faith, you now have peace with God through your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ." And that was what was missing in my life the whole time, was a peace. At that moment, that instant, the desire for alcohol was gone. I no longer need alcohol, no longer desire it. And God has shown me a new life. He's shown me a new freedom. His Spirit resides in me now, and He's shown me how life should be. He is my leader now. Done.